Stone Sour will quickly whip his head around. They've been activated prematurely. Obviously, Avicii must have done this. They're not complete, and they're just fodder. I don't know what he was thinking. So many of our plans.
Okay, what can we do to help turn it off? Because it's just kind of pumping these things out everywhere, and it's kind of making a mess. I don't know what Avicii's doing, but if we can stop this, we can at least kind of put a kibosh on something.
He's corroded the pumps and the mechanisms. Like, even the controls aren't responding. They're just producing these endlessly. It will drain the whole supply of our biological reserves, and there could be tens of thousands by the time it runs empty. This was meant to populate a planet.
Okay. So there's no like emergency valve shut off. There's nothing. There's no big red button that we can just kind of smash and everything just stops.
There's self-destruct, but this is all I've ever worked on. It's my greatest achievement. I can't just destroy it.
Is there a way to save the biological components and destroy the machinery? Or is it all in one?
Possibly, I suppose, but all this exposure to the open air and the different microorganisms that are currently existing in this entire ship have tainted the supply as it is. This was the future of our people. He's ruined it.
Stone Sour, and you two at this point will probably get close enough to like reach out to him. Let's go, Stone Sour. If you want to have a future for your people and yourself, we've got to figure out how to turn this machine off. Do you have a container or anything to collect your samples in? And then, I mean, I can use my stand, and you can kind of turn yourself into an active volcano, so we can bring this whole thing down.
There's a protocol further into the lab, I guess. Something that I used to collect some of the samples from the garden necessary for the mixture, but the valve is difficult to operate, even for a Starman. It was meant to be the last resort. It requires shutting down all of the machinery. I know the general order in which it should be done, but we should do that right. Avicii's completely lost it.
I agree. That's why we got to take care of this. You've got two, and he points to himself and Rich. He's like, you got two other sets of arms. What do we need to do?
Just the first portion is... you can see lava beginning to spill out of his mouth.
Stone Sour, and you two will start to back up once the lava starts pouring. Stone Sour, what's going on, man? And like you two starts looking around and is like, Rich, do you see anybody?
A hand, just 5 fingers, pale, extend upwards and then curl over Stone Sour's shoulder, and a head slowly peers out halfway from behind him. He just locks eyes with you two, and then slowly pushes his hand through Stone Sour's chest. Go on. What were you going to say? Stone Sour, he shakes Stone Sour. Speak up. Speak up now, boy. I didn't teach you to stutter and stammer. Speak up. Stone Sour looks down at his own chest. The lava inside of his body is corroding and smoking. Oh, Stone Sour's always been a shy boy, like his brother. He pushes Stone Sour's body off of his arm. Oopsie daisy. Clumsy too. Did you come here to ruin what I was doing?
Yeah, obviously.
That's rude. You're a guest on my ship and we're in the middle of a game. Hide and go seek.
Well, and you two will look at Rich and just go, well, I mean, nobody told us. We didn't have a chance to hide.
I see that your friends are just rude. I get it. That's why it's always better to work alone. Hey, you know what I love about Earth and the moon and all of you humans, other than how easy and fun it is to kill you all, is that you all know the best jokes. Do you have a good joke?
You two's gonna look at Rich, just completely stunned at what is happening.
Rich folds his arms and he holds up a finger. I have a good joke. Knock, knock. Avicii kind of rolls his eyes. Nah, joked. Who's there? One of the batons goes flying into Avicii's face and just strikes him, setting off a small electrical charge and then kind of exploding because of the contact with the acid in Avicii's body. Just detonating and blowing up like a miniature grenade on his head, cratering his face and exposing this long lashing tongue and two dangling eyes that are just attached to a greenish black cords in his head. He's still trying to laugh. You technically have an advantage on your next roll.
I'll throw on the metronome on the headphones and I'll try and hit him with turn down for what.
So you have an 8 to that roll. Avicii kind of sees what you're doing. Like one of his eyeballs actually dangles and swings around to look at you. And he is going to reach out to try and lash you with an acidic limb. It misses and you complete... How do you strike him with your stand?
I guess since his head's missing, I'll go for the neck. If he still has his eyes and stuff to see, I want to just completely disable that, even if it's just going to grow back momentarily.
Okay, you can just want to destroy his head. You do. It just like plows right off. Like it's made of rotten vegetable matter. He stands there, stumbles and staggers, and the top of his head spurts out with acid and blood and gore.
Rich, we gotta go. And I guess I'll echolocate. Stone Sour mentioned deeper in the lab is the shutoff, so we gotta go that way.
Stone Sour is currently standing up. He is bracing himself against the console, and you can see his core is glowing red, burning off the acid, the corrosive chemicals from Avicii. Just go back in the lab, enter in the keyword family, which a bit ironic, I suppose. You'll get through, open up the controls, turn the valve. It'll probably take both of you to do it. I'm gonna hold him off. I can't let it end like this. Just go.
Yutu nods at Rich and then looks at Stone Sour and just goes, when I get back, he better be a pile of fucking ashes, and he'll just start running.
Stone Sour stares at the regrowing Avicii and begins to glow even more. This is going to turn very violent very quickly, just like his fight with Sugar Ray. In the meantime, you're running towards the area that Stone Sour pointed out. Rich is following. He kind of takes a look back at what's about to happen, and then give me electro-punk roll for this. Fireball explodes outwards, kind of like right at your backs as you're going. With a 2, try to roll for Rich on this.
Could I possibly use NSYNC for this?
Oh, sure.
Since me and Rich are both attempting to get to the valve and turn it off, we're in sync.
Yeah, 3 and 1. This protects Rich because it was a passive of 3 to avoid this. He's not aiming it at you. It's just kind of the force. You managed to get there like around a corner in time, but Rich gets just flung right off of his feet and into a wall, into some machinery, crashing into it, glass embedding into his skin as he tumbles to the floor.
Two will stop and turn back around and grab him and get him up.
And he scrambles to his feet with his eyes wide. What a fucking rush!
Yeah, come on, man. We gotta go.
He'll follow along, kind of like brushing the glass off of himself. The console that Stone Sour was talking about, it isn't in English. It's in numerical code, some kind of code. How familiar would you say Yutu is with like machine coding, like any kind of coding? He's got to do some because of like music tracking and stuff.
Yeah, he probably has a very base level, like he probably learned enough to do like just what he needed to, especially like since he's designed a lot of his own systems for like his stuff to work. Yeah, he probably knows some base level coding and probably like outsourced most of the heavy lifting to other people. But I would like to think that he probably knows some.
Go ahead and give me for this electropunk roll. Do you want to invoke on that? It's passive difficulty 2. Do you even have fate die left?
I still have 2.
If you invoke on that, you'll be able to pass.
I'll just take the +2.
Okay, so as you're like fidgeting around with this, and pressing the buttons to try to figure out what the fuck what means what, you kind of notice that there's like a rhythm when you press certain sequences, and it just kind of makes sense in your head. It's almost like your stand is translating what the rhythm means, because that's kind of what your core is. He told you the code was family, and you know that if you press it in the right order, which you do, it just sounds like boop, 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 doop. And that engages the
Perfect.
system. Yeah. Unlocking the cover over the valve that needs to be turned.
Okay, Rich, we gotta go. And like YouTube will grab it and immediately start trying to turn it.
For this, you're going to need another Electropunk, and you can invoke In Sync.
Perfect. Okay, so that's a 3, and then a 1 again.
And a 1.
Rich.
He's struggling. He just can't. He can't do it. He's bracing him. He's like bracing one leg against the wall, really like trying to just wrench this thing. Just can't do it.
Just try and wedge the baton in there and use that. Just come on. And like Yutu again will just try and like give it his all.
After the first time you do it, you hear kind of another explosion go off and laughter. Kind of just in the background, and then screams. Ah! Ah! Give it another Electropunk roll. This is passive difficulty 4.
So within sync, that is a 4.
He's gonna need
another 3.
He's gonna need to invoke for this one. Well, what would you say to give him kind of encouragement, since it's, you know, he's an NPC. He's there. He really is trying his best, man. You can invoke something that you know about him.
Yutu will like lock eyes with Rich and just go, Rich, and he just kind of goes, fuck, all right. And he reaches into his pocket and will pull out a small bag of undetermined powder and just go, I was saving this in case we needed it during our fight, but well, I guess we're doing this now. And he goes, now turn it and you get it.
I can't believe you were holding out on me. I thought we were friends. He just wrenches it really hard, like he wasn't even trying before, but now he really is. You motherfucker. You beautiful bastard. He turns the valve all the way, and now that like he's doing it and really motivated, he's kind of like doing it like the work of 2 men almost. I can't believe this. This whole time, I've been living a clean, sober life. His suit actually begins to tear as his muscles bulge. This terrible world. This awful, boring world. I killed for this? He just spins the valve as hard as he can, and it just goes like completely spinning, just whirling super fast, releasing the container that you needed for the biological samples that Stone Sour was talking about. Give me that snow.
Yutu will hand him the packet. Deal's a deal.
He just takes it and just kind of casually just puts the entire packet into his nose, plastic and all. All right, I'm feeling pretty level right now. What are we doing?
Well, now we got to get the fuck out of here. We stopped the cloning machine, but we need to get past Creepy Avicii.
All right, leave it to me, buddy.
And you just kind of like squints, and it's just like, okay, all right, let's go. Come on, let's find another way out. I'm pretty sure that entrance is blocked. And he kind of points back to where they were.
That's where you're wrong. All you have to do is just keep the rhythm. You ready?
Yeah, like Yuji's like he's kind of apprehensive to this weird in charge Rich. This Rich who seems to be on top of things.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He starts walking towards the explosions and the gas and the lashes of acid. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Yutu's following, and he's like, and he's just like he's trying to find the words.
Give me a
behind him.
Give me a groove roll, passive opposition 3. How are you keeping the beat with him?
I would say Yutu's probably getting into like lockstep with him. When he steps, like keeping in sync that way.
So you actually see this looks like an almost old person dance move. Rich like kind of snaps his fingers and then does like a quick little turn and squat, kind of crouch, and then like acid flies over him and you if you do it too.
I never really thought about it, but with in sync, like they do sync up, like they are both moving in rhythm.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, it's like boy band almost. Like he's now that he's got what he needs and isn't hurting, he's like really feeling the rhythm. He's like snapping his fingers. He turns his body real quick, and like sheet of hot metal slides past him. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Yutu again is just keeping lockstep with him.